Welcome to Dub Nation, the official show of the Utah Warriors of Major League Rugby. I'm Jarom Jordan alongside Banksy, who is ready for this week's amazing military uniform.
I got a sneak peek at this when we were sitting in the office on Saturday, and I was like, ooh, look, surprises. Now we get to share it with everybody in all its glory.
And let's check it.
In 3, 2, 1.
Are you serious? That's incredible.
I feel the need for speed.
Oh, let's go. And of course, tied in with the release of Top Gun Maverick in theaters this weekend, of course, with the logo and the colors. It's going to be awesome, man. Last week was incredible with the uniform. It's going to be incredible again. That's such good design and execution.
It's incredible. The formation logo on the front of the jersey, of course, the red, white, and blue colors. You love to see it. And then, just in case you didn't know, the Thunderbirds are going to be here in like 3 weeks performing at Wings Over the Wasatch. So that's one of the big tie-ins to having the Thunderbirds jersey is that they'll be here in Utah just after the end of the season.
I love it. Oh, my gosh. What a show we have for you. Let's show you what's on the rundown. Oh, Austin! Can't win in Harriman.
You love to see it. Give the people what they want. It's a win over the orange sickle.
Well, burn orange. But yeah, round 16 recap. We'll preview round 17. Hey, only 2 more weeks to go. Calvin Whiting's going to join the show. He's been awesome kicking the ball the last couple weeks. Tremendous tackler. We'll talk to him. We'll preview the game with LA, who's number 1 in the West, reigning champs. Huge game. They've got to win to maintain that. Warriors looking to blow up everybody's season. Niall Saunders, great to have him back. He had a great 29 minutes. He's mic'd up. Then we'll talk to one of those college football players connected with Utah Warriors out of BYU. Kingsley, Suamataia, a transfer from Oregon to BYU, 5-star guy. He is going to wreck some fools this year. It's going to be good to talk to Kingsley, who's been associated with the Utah Warriors in a name, image, and likeness deal. He's got his own swag now. He is legit. So let's recap the Austin game. The Gilgronis come to Harriman, where they are 0-3, and they go home 0-4 because the Utah Warriors beat Austin. So we go to the 12th minute. Robbie Coetzee scores a try. They go up 5-0. 15th minute. This changes the game a little bit. The tenor of it, the physicality of it. Julian Dominguez gets a yellow card on a high tackle against Connor Burns. 10 minutes in the sin bin on this one.
You know, it was a tough call, but it's contact immediately with the head, and you see Joe Mano come in and try and defend his boy. You love to see the teamwork there. It's on the defender to make sure that the contact is below the shoulders. The grubber through, and then boom, that swinging arm goes right up around the jaw of Connor Burns, but it's all right. He's a rugby player. He's tough. He'd walk it off.
And Joe Mano made sure, Dominguez knew he didn't like it. That Joe's a good teammate that way. Okay, so here's the bad thing, though. During the power play, as the league wants to call it right now.
I refuse.
Some debate on whether people like that or not. Or no debate in your case. The Utah Warriors barely possessed the ball. Like, they didn't do anything. But they didn't give up any points. But normally you want to go score. They scored 2 tries against Houston. Didn't get anything done there. That's okay. Fast forward to the 29th minute. Zion going. Just a heady play as the Warriors draw a penalty. Tap and go. He scores.
He knew immediately that it was going to be coming in from the side, looks at the ref. As soon as the hand goes up, you see him place the ball to take the tap on the mark, knowing nobody was going to be back anywhere near the goal line, and then just has the physicality to force it through. It was a great, really kind of a typical 9 play on that quick tap and go off a penalty. It was really smart.
Sean Davies, the attack coach, was notorious for this. He was always going with no support, just like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make this happen. So I'm sure he's coaching on be ready, be ready. So that was great of Zion to score that. And this was a scrum half try game, which we'll get to coming up. Will McGee gets a penalty kick to make it 8-7. It's a little back and forth here. To the second half we go. Calvin Whiting makes a penalty goal. Believe it or not, this is the game-winning play because Utah only allows 8 points in this.
It's great to see Calvin find that form. I think handing him the kicking duties was a boost to his confidence. He struggled a little bit with his form earlier in this season, but boy, has he really come on. And really, like the last 4 games, he's settled into the player that we're used to seeing from him. And the addition of handling those kicking duties is great to see from Cal.
We knew he was, a tremendous defender, looking for him in the attack a little more. And then last year he gets kicking duties with, Hagen Schulte in the mix, but Lopes are hurt, and he just crushed it. He was one of the best in the league. He's continued that, which is awesome. Okay, 63rd minute, Utah up 10-7. Another yellow card on Lachlan McCaffrey. By the way, Utah only 3 yellow cards the whole year. Like tied for best in the league and with fewest, right? 3 minutes in on the power play, Paul Lasike just rumbles into the try zone. There's no way he was going to be stopped here. Austin knew it was coming. It was an awesome moment.
And this is what Paul Lasike has done his entire career. You know where this ball's going, and the crash ball comes in, and it's a skip play. It was always going to Paul, but from 3 meters out, you're never going to stop that much meat from going downhill.
Good luck, man. Paul Lasike's second try, both as subs, both in the last 25 minutes of games, and on his thighs is Bryce Campbell, his USA Eagle captain. No shot. Paul Lasike is a wrecking ball, man. Looking forward to perhaps him in the starting lineups this week. We'll see. Okay, 71st minute. Now this is the only real gaffe of the game. And shout out to Mark O'Keefe, the winger, outside center, who was playing wing, who made not 1, not 2, but 3 incredible defensive plays, highlighted by this one. 71st minute, Yuri Van Buren, he's going to score a try. And this is a not top 10 moment for Yuri Van Buren. Great run here from Makini. Yuri's going to score here. Mike Dale's right there too. Look at O'Keefe. He creates the knock-on.
It was a great follow from O'Keefe. Yuri looked like he took a half step off as he kind of took that ball thinking he was just away, and O'Keefe never stopped chasing it. I gave Yuri a hug after the game, and he asked me, he goes, "Did I knock it on? Because if you say I knocked it on, I'll believe you." And I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, it was pretty clear to see on all the replays that, you lost that ball forward there in contact." And he just goes, "Dang it. Well, that's my one." So, yeah, Yuri, that was your one, buddy.
I know. I was telling him, you've done so much good. Shake it off. Don't worry about it. And I told him on the broadcast, I said, "I thought you knew." And he said, "I didn't know. I honestly didn't know in the moment. It was just kind of fast." And because I said on the primary feed, I said, that's the look of a guilty man as they looked at him. But he's like, "I didn't know." I was like, "Okay, that's my bad. Okay, 2 minutes later, Niall Saunders uses the wheels to put this game out of reach, 22-8. We've seen this year before. He is so quick.
And, we've talked about it before on the show, about this team executing the fundamentals at an elite level. And it all came off of the run from Ali Khalifi. Ali took the ball into contact and immediately got himself long, narrowed the gate, and put his body in a position to place the ball. That immediately puts the defense on their heels because Saunders is so quick on the recycle that the gaps were just wide enough that I probably could have run through them. Saunders instead runs around them and dots it down for the easy score.
He's running so fast. His hair's like holding still, but it's like just moving like that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Okay, final stats in this one is Utah wins 22-8. They do it again. They've taken down all these good teams, right? We'll talk about it. Okay, tries 3-1, conversions pretty good. Penalty goals were there. A lot of tackles from Austin needing to be made. Ton of lineouts for Austin. Scrums perfection for Utah at 7 for 7.
I thought the scrums were great. Emerson Pryor has been fantastic in all of the minutes that he's had. I talked to Emerson after the game about the scrums, and he said, I got beat on that first one, but they reset it, and they never looked back. And then when Ali Khalifi came in, there was a great highlight from the Major League Rugby Instagram page about just how hype forwards and front row players get when they blow up scrums. And that's our boy Ali Khalifi just wrecking people's feelings.
He was so stoked. Yeah, it was crazy. Okay, a couple of game notes in this one. This is a historic game for Utah. 8 points allowed is the second fewest in team history. I mean, that is incredible. The fewest is 5 at Houston last year, by the way. 14-point win. That's top 10. It's 8. 30 combined points. Tied for the third fewest in team history. So the offense was good enough, right? 22 points for sure. Only needed 9 to win. And then, of course, the one that I mentioned, the one that matters the most. Austin has never beaten Utah in Utah.
When you realize, too, that there was another 21 points on offer there for Utah that could have made this a blowout, were it not for the heroics of O'Keefe on the wing. It was a really clinical and solid performance from the Utah Warriors against what was at that point the top team in the league.
Crazy, right? They start first in the West when the day begins. LA gets a 5-pointer against Dallas, which is what everyone does this year. Not so much next year, probably. Dallas getting better. And LA is the number 1 team. Austin only needed to lose by 7 or fewer or score 4 or more tries, and they would have tied or been back in first. They come out with 0 points. I can't emphasize how amazing that is from Utah.
You know, the Warriors said once they were mathematically eliminated that they just wanted to play spoiler. They're going to regain their pride. They've got it all to play for now and saying, hey, these Warriors are for real. Don't sleep on what happened this season because 2023, it's about to come, and hell or high water, these Warriors are ready to play.
Okay, MLR first 15. 3 Warriors represented. Let's go. Sayo Hila at right lock. He's been tremendous. That's back-to-back weeks. Caleb Makini at the fly half and Calvin Whiting at inside centers. Congratulations to these guys.
Caleb had an amazing game, and he's really come into his own as a 10, just directing traffic. He's reading the lines and really playing well, whatever the opposition gives him in front of him on defense. So he's been fantastic. Chief getting it done at the second row. He's always such a physical presence and defying age and father time there. Sayo Hila aging like wine and just getting better and better and better. And then, of course, Calvin Whiting clutch with the boot and then playing amazing defense and keeping what has been a very powerful Austin Gilgrone's attack basically on their heels the whole time.
So Sayo Hila has a blonde beard against Houston 2 weeks ago. Then he dyes it black, but it kind of turns gray. So the whole week the team was calling him Gandalf.
Valid. Because if you run at Sayo Hila's gap, you're going to get a "you shall not pass."
Perfect.
Boom! And then here comes the heat, baby.
Okay, let's check out week 16 in MLR. Toronto pulling off the upsets against New England. When you show you the standings, Toronto's still in the mix because of that. Look at the shootout with Houston and DC there. LA, we mentioned. San Diego blowing out NOLA. And then Atlanta with a shocking 35-point win over New York. That was a huge game in the East as well.
That was a huge game in the East, and it was the debut of a couple of All Blacks on that roster for New York that clearly hasn't found any chemistry with those guys in training yet and misfiring on the week. I want to give a big shout out to the Dallas Jackals who played LA tough for 60 minutes. That game was really close at the half before LA finally blew it open. So that's a team that's finding some form, and we can look forward to building what is already an incredible competition in Major League Rugby through 2023 now.
We'll see him next week on the road, Utah, Dallas, to close out the regular season. By the way, Dean Muir sets an MLR record for Houston. He scored 4 tries. Scrum half Jason Higgins had 3 for San Diego, so a lot of offense in round 16, which brings us to the standings. Let's start in the West. Woo, it's tight. It is tight going down the stretch to the last 2 games. LA and Austin have clinched a playoff spot. Now, Houston's got a game in hand on San Diego. Certainly pretty comfortable at that point with 4 points. They just need to take care of business here the last couple of weeks. But San Diego right there, Seattle essentially not really in it at this point.
You know, the Warriors did LA a favor by knocking down Austin. We'll see if they can do Austin the same favor this week when we take on LA. The Giant Killers need to do it again and mess with everybody's hopes and dreams.
Seriously, LA should be concerned. They really should. Like the way that Utah's played 2 of the last 3 weeks and at home in those 2 games, I wouldn't want to play Utah right now in Harriman. Okay, Eastern Conference. New England, certainly looking like they're going to lock that 1 seed up. Atlanta and New York now tied at 47 after that game. Toronto, though, still in the mix here at the very end.
It's all to play for in the East. It's been New England's conference all year, and it looks like they're going to stay the class of the East with just that hiccup. But, you know, a record-setting year for the Free Jacks. Rugby ATL, after that hiccup with the Warriors, have come back and found some form again. You know, and going up there and hanging it on New York basically gives them the tiebreaker if this thing stays close.
It's coming down the wire. 2 weeks left in the regular season. Let's go. Okay, round 17. Remember, you play 16 games in 18 weeks. We're coming down to it. Seattle and Houston, obviously huge for Houston, having to go on the road and trying to essentially put Seattle out of the way and maintain the lead against San Diego. ATL versus Toronto, huge playoff implications. Obviously, Utah and LA, we will preview in a moment. Austin and San Diego. Austin needs to stay in the mix. New York needs some points against DC. New England, well, they have a few points to give here, so not as much pressure, but it's a huge week in MLR.
Every game has consequences for the playoff picture, and it's incredible to see. I mean, you want nail-biting, hair-raising action week in and week out. Nothing is decided. Nothing is for sure, and it's going to come down to the last week for seeding, for home field advantage, for first week buys, and to see who's in contention for the ship at the end of the year.
Okay, it's round 17 coming up, and we will preview Utah and LA after our next guest in a moment.
If you are ready, ladies and gentlemen, for the military special night, we showed you the jersey preview with the Thunderbirds jerseys. It's going to be an amazing night at Zions Bank Stadium. We had an electric atmosphere thanks to Dub Nation last week. Let's do it again as the LA Guiltinis come to town on Military Appreciation Night. Make sure to get your tickets now at warriorsrugby.com and call the ticket office. Be ready to go. Let's fill the stands. Let's get loud, and let's back the boys in black for another one against LA.
The home finale. And man, has it been fun this year. Let's go. Okay, let's bring in our first of two guests today. He is the former BYU All-American. He is a man expecting his first child, and he's the number 12 of the week in Major League Rugby. He is our own Calvin Whiting, who's looking all muscly in that photo. Calvin, welcome to Dub Nation. Great to have you, man. How you doing?
Good. Jarom Banksy, what's up, guys?
We're just chilling, dude. Just enjoying another win against Austin at home, which is what you guys do. They've never won there, man.
Isn't it good? So good.
Tell me the truth. How much are you pushing up your biceps in that picture with your arms folded like that to make the guns look bigger, bro?
Dude, that's old Davey Wilson, man. That's his magic. You don't even have to flex for that guy. You can make it work.
Hey, how many light switches do you need in your house? I'm seeing 6 over your left shoulder there.
Just go hide that.
That means you got a lot of lights. I like it. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about what Saturday was like. Obviously, you guys have been trying to play for pride the last couple of weeks and get better. Remind me, by the way, before I ask you the question, what's on the wall outside the locker room? It's like one more play or something?
Yeah, one more.
One more. Okay.
Mentality, yeah.
How have you guys turned that into something that, let's be honest, the last 2 home games have maybe not shocked yourselves because you guys know you were good, but shocked the league in taking down Rugby ATL in Austin?
Yeah, I think it's more just that belief, right? It's just that fact of like one more, every single play. Like if something's going to happen, next one, right? Next one. And so one more play, one more tackle, one more carry, one more point, one more try, no matter what it is. And I think it's been a pretty tough season for us because we've lost a lot of games, but by few margins, and one more could have made the difference. And so that's what we went with.
Well, the difference in this game clearly was the defensive mentality from the onset. You guys came out with a point to prove with the physicality this week. What was that preparation like going in, knowing obviously that was the first start in the game plan? And how did you guys continue to execute that through all 80 minutes? I mean, you really stifled what's otherwise been a pretty exciting attack.
Yeah, I think honestly, the boys just dug deep this game, eh? I mean, you could see it on the field, even being part of it. I was pretty shocked myself. I mean, we carried through that physicality through 80 minutes. And so I think it all started just with the prep. I mean, we've had a pretty physical season as far as practice goes. And so just with that has helped us kind of keep that endurance and keep our bodies right for it.
And then wearing the City Edition jerseys always helps, right? Those are pretty sweet.
Nice. Fresh.
And then the ones this week look amazing too. I mean, back-to-back weeks.
I know. I always
Operation turn it down.
We love the military auto. Yeah, there you go. Oh, these look incredible, man.
Yeah, they're going to be sweet. Awesome. I'm excited for these.
How do you get invited to
we need to fire Mason and Billy, our producer. We get Calvin on the interview segment, and we can't get a picture of Calvin in the city jerseys. What are we even doing, you guys?
I was gonna say, how do you get invited to be in the photo shoots? It's like
exactly.
You draw straws. Like, what do you do there?
Well, the thing is, for the guys at work, it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, I ran into you the other day. At Nico's in Provo. Yeah, which is pretty awesome. We're talking to Calvin Whiting on Dub Nation here. Okay, so what was the best part of that win against Austin? Because it was a crazy crowd. You had the great jerseys. You had the fireworks. Mm-hmm. You have this win that really matters. Like, what did you enjoy the most? And was there a moment during the game where you could kind of take it in? Yeah,
that's a great question. I think the best part was just to see everyone's face, right, after you win. Just that embrace, and then obviously the song in the sheds after. That's always a fun one as well. So. But I think more so just the fact that we know we can do it, right? We know we can. And so when we actually do it, it just feels amazing to actually be able to be like, you know what, we did this, we earned this, like we still are a great team. And so let's just keep running with it and see where it goes.
There was a really cool moment after the match with a lot of the international guys as they were all standing on the field for the fireworks after. How cool is that for a lot of these international guys to not only get a big win at home, but to see something as American as fireworks at a sporting event? How is that sharing that with a lot of the boys that really I don't think had ever seen anything like that before?
Yeah, that's American rugby, man. That's what it's going to be, and that's kind of the new flavor. And I always talk to people about it because rugby is just so different, yeah. And it's going to be something that's going to be insanely huge, and I'm really excited to see where it goes as well. But I'm sure for a lot of them it was just an awesome experience because, like you said, not many of them have seen something like that before. So being able to have their families there with them as well, which is awesome. So
yeah, it was sweet, man.
Yeah.
I told you on the field, but I just thought it was awesome that in all the scoring, all the defense, the game-winning score was your penalty goal in the 44th minute.
Yeah, made me feel pretty good, man. Jeez.
That's all we needed. After that, it was like, all right, we're good.
We're good.
Lock it up. Fireworks. Let's get out of here.
Hold it there. That's good.
So let's talk about the return of Paul Asike. We got a little glimpse at what he's capable of. And, it's really the play's got to be the Paulie special, right? Like that's his bread and butter off the back of the scrum.
Yeah.
Caleb comes up to keep the defense honest. And then it's just Paul being a beast. How long have you known Paul and how exciting is it to see him running healthy lines here?
Oh yeah, I've known Paul for quite a while. I actually watched him in high school before I went to BYU. So he actually left right when I got there, unfortunately. So I didn't get to play with him then, but obviously got to watch his career a little bit with the Harlequins and stuff as well. But like I said, bread and butter, you 5 meters from the try line and you have a scrum, it's like, it's going to Paul. Like, it's pretty funny because we were sitting the play up and I was like, Paul, do you want me to latch on? Like, he's like, nah, don't worry about it. Just stay there. No worries. Do your thing, my man.
So you just stand there and watch the show, baby.
No, exactly. So I love it. The confidence and just the fact that he knows he's done that hundreds of times and it's been successful. So
Calvin, watch this. I know I went to BYU football before I got to rugby. We didn't play. Just watch this. Okay. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Hey, defensively, 8 points allowed, second fewest allowed in Utah Warriors history. Was that the game plan? Was there something specific defensively that really worked in that one?
Yeah, we've been working on defense a lot, to be honest with you, because it's one of the key factors that we felt have kind of hindered us throughout the season, just, silly errors here and there. And so we've really worked on certain key elements within our defensive structure to allow us to kind of keep on top of teams. And then we always knew that also was going to be a physical game. So if we could match them physically and even beat them physically, that we'd eventually just end up on top. So I think the proof is in the pudding at that point.
So let's look forward now to next week then. LA coming to town. This is a team that likes to play sideline to sideline.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a lot of those missing pieces back now with guys coming back from suspensions, guys coming back healthy. Luke Carty's back in the lineup. How's the preparation looking going into LA as they come home for the final home game of the season?
Yeah, I think preparation stays the same, right? We plan to win, and so we practice to win as well. So everything this week has been really dialed in. The boys have been switched on. Obviously, we've identified some factors that we might be able to exploit them in, but obviously won't share all those secrets right now. However, I think Saturday should be a good one, and you can better believe that we're going to come out guns blazing.
2:30 Mountain Time, an afternoon game as well. That'll be fun in the jerseys. Okay, tell the people about you're expecting your first child, right? You and your wife. Yeah. Is it exciting? Yeah. You know the gender?
Yeah, so baby girl due July 16th, and so it's getting to that point now where everything's starting to get really real. So one day I wake up excited, the other day I wake up scared, out of my boots. So it's going to happen soon enough. So we're really excited. We've got the nursery going, and so little bits and pieces left, but super excited to welcome our baby girl. So
my one piece of advice as a dad, especially here in Utah, ask all the questions, especially when you're in the hospital, everyone around you. There's so many kids and we're around so many babies here in Utah. Everyone just assumes everyone knows. If you don't know, don't be afraid to ask, man, because there's so many people willing to step up and help, especially in the hospital and with those nursing staffs and everybody. So don't be shy with asking the questions, bro.
Exactly. We have quite a few nephews and nieces, but so it's been really fun because obviously we had a lot of experience in that, but obviously this time you can't return it to its owners. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, stuck with it.
Nothing is more terrifying than that moment when they go, okay, you're done here. And they pack you up and you get in the car. And as soon as that car seat clicks in, you go, I got to do this like on my own now. And then you just kind of drive off into the world expecting to take care of a new life. And then you get home and you realize, oh, I know how this works. And everything will settle down. But
that's where mom-in-law's got to really be the MVP, you know?
I know.
Oh,
Yeah. And luckily, my wife was born to be a mother, to be honest with you. That's, I think, is definitely her calling in life. So I think we'll be more than okay, but I'll try to do my part where I can.
That's awesome. Well, she's USA eligible, which is exciting.
Yep.
And we'll see what her career.
Yeah. I think we're like building up the future women's team. Yeah. I mean, Tyler Fisher, Franco. I mean, we've got a lot of girls coming. So
yeah, no, it's legit. Well, Calvin, we appreciate the time, man. We'll see you Saturday afternoon against LA, and thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you Saturday.
Calvin Whiting, great to have him on the show. Very exciting for he and his wife, expecting the baby girl, and he's been good with the boot, good tackling like we talked about. Okay, let's talk about LA. LA Guiltinis, the MLR champs, are coming into town, and guess who beat them in the first game? Utah did, 28-19. 2:30 p.m. Saturday, KJazz, KSLSports.com, the Rugby Network, ESPN 700, ESPN 960. We've got the call for this one again. Cannot wait for it. Series history 2-2. Utah's only played LA one time at home, and it was, last year. Utah won this game. Guiltinis didn't send the strongest squad, but we don't care. We show up, okay? LA has already clinched a playoff spot, vying for that number one final home game, the military uniforms. I don't know, outside of Utah being in the playoff hunt itself, Banksy, if this could be a bigger game with all of this stuff involved.
There's so many layers to a game like this. And, even with the Warriors being eliminated from the playoffs, you're talking about a team with momentum. You're talking about a team right now that strikes fear into their opposition, because I wouldn't want to face this Warriors team with my playoff life on the line. Nope. And for this LA Guiltini squad here, a loss could realistically mean they go from first to almost third and fighting for a spot in that home field or having to travel position. Right. So there's a lot to play for if you're LA, and a lot to ruin if you're the Utah Warriors for that Guiltini's team.
I think we're going to see a super strong squad from LA show up. Like they can't mail it in. Last year they could mail it in. They were the 1 seed. It was done. Utah was the 2. It was locked in. It didn't matter. This year's different. Okay, let's check out a matchup by the numbers. This is new. So you see LA with the advantages in 4 of those 5, but I want to point this out. These are the top 2 teams, the scrums and scrums won. I think that's going to be a huge storyline in this game.
Well, and I think it will be pretty evenly matched as you go through probably about the first 60 minutes. I think where Utah has the advantage is on the substitutions. Our Gorilla squad, when they come in substitution minutes, would probably be any other team's starting front row. That's the quality and the depth that we have. I mean, when your substitutes are all international quality props and hookers, I mean, in that 60th minute, now you're talking about fresh elite level athletes, not a backup who's just fighting for minutes on the squad. So I really think Utah has the advantage there.
Okay, let's check out some players to watch for LA. Billy Meeks, first in the league in carries and meters run. He is a load at center. Nathan Den Hout, really good at showing up in the breakdown. Hunko Hermesheis has been out with the 3-game suspension. He is back for this game if they want him. Luke Carty's been out for a lot of the season with a pectoral muscle injury, which, by the way, there's no greater street cred injury than pectoral muscle injury. And Reni Ai, if they want to play him, they can, although Carty is a fly half and perhaps starting guy. So we'll see what they do.
There's firepower all over the field for this LA team. It's been that way since they came into the league. So the Warriors are going to have to come prepared. And I think setting that physical bar the way they did against Austin, it's back-to-back gills. And the Warriors clearly have proven they're up to the task against the elite teams in MLR, knocking out now Rugby ATL, Austin Gilgronis. Now we want to add that scalp in the Guiltinis to the list of wins here in 2022.
And 2 of those 3 have come in the last 2 home games and 2 of the last 3 weeks. The LA game feels like it was a long time ago. So sometimes you just throw out the film, but other times you go, well, same team. We're different. They're different. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of great things that happened in that game, and Utah has certain positional situations where they have an advantage and a physicality and a gorilla squad, right? So how do you see them stacking up now about 2 months later?
It's going to be tough because a lot of LA's offense comes through that quick recycling and then getting the ball into space, not necessarily at the 10, but it's come through that 12-13 gap in that like classic battering ram physical play. So that's the good news if you're LA. With Luke Hardy back, they can continue to use that strategy. The bad news is if you're LA is we've got Paul Lasike, Tyler Fisher, Calvin Whiting, and Tomasi Tonga ready to fill those gaps. I wouldn't want to run at those two guys if I was LA. You know, it was a battle when LA played San Diego and watching Meeks and Ma'anonu run at each other. I think we're going to see a lot of that same strategy, and they're going to try those outside gaps early on this Warriors team.
Do you think Utah starts Lasike to match up with Meeks, or is it okay to bring him off the bench?
I think the coaches are going to make the best decision based on fitness and form here. There's a lot of guys that are healthy right now, and there's a lot of guys that are anxious and excited to play those minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see at least a full 40 minutes from Paul. I don't know if that'll be the first 40 or the second 40.
Utah brought in a lot of the Gorilla squad in the 29th with 29 minutes to go, like a little early. And I thought, oh, they sense a moment here where, hey, just go hard give us 10 minutes in the second half, and then we got you, which was really interesting because let's be honest, Utah's found this interesting rotation of starting 15 where you have a couple of rookies. You're bringing Niall Saunders off the bench, Paul Lasike, Angus McClellan, Tavete Vungakoto. Like, are
Mikey
you kidding
Pale's
me?
come off the bench for 2
Mikey
games now.
Pale, the MLR player of the year, has come off the bench the last 3 weeks. Like, what in the world? I kind of like this reverse deal where it's like, hey, you better get like a 10-point lead here or that's going to go away, right? From at least at home. Against Houston, some inconsistency, it didn't work. But ask ATL and Austin what it's been like to go against that squad, against that crowd in Harriman. I think we've got an amazing game coming up on Saturday.
When you talk about those matchups, really the difference maker is, we could say, the 16th man, right? It's Dub Nation. It's the fans in the stands giving these guys the energy and the feedback and the support and the elevation that they need to be just that little bit better week in and week out. That's the difference you make when you get up and you get loud and you cheer on these boys at Zions Bank Stadium. So make sure you're there. This is the final home game of the season to see our Warriors, our boys, Dub Nation, take on the LA Guiltinis.
2:30 Mountain Time. WarriorsRugby.com. Go get your tickets, get your merch. Let's go. The military uniforms. Awesome. Okay. Last week, Niall Saunders was our man of the match on the broadcast. He was incredible with those final 29 minutes. The pace, the speed, the try. It was awesome. Here's Niall mic'd up at practice.
Hey, bro, you all right?
Are you mic'd up today or what?
Yeah, mate, they got me on the mic. Yeah, stay blindside, don't get too tight. Don't get too tight. Hold the push. Yeah, it's just better for me that side. More protection. Great kick, Danny! Yeah, come round, let's get to an edge! I can notice the air, it's so thin. Yeah, even talking, it's like... And again, go, numbers! Yeah, go! Yeah, swap in! We can get there! All right, escort them, get in their way!
He's a talker, and he's got to be as a scrum half, right? By the way, his parents were at the game from the UK over the weekend, which is cool. Of course, his dad, Rob, was the Irish captain for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely love to see it. You know, Saunders stepped away from rugby for a year because he had lost his love for it. And you can really tell the energy and the passion and kind of the rediscovery of who he is and who he is on the rugby field with this team. It's great to see. He's a ton of fun to watch and a high energy guy no matter where you interact with him.
Great to have him back in the lineup. It had been a couple weeks coming off an injury, and gosh, does he provide a spark, which is pretty awesome. But we mentioned the cool military jerseys. You can get your hands on some of these.
And not just get your hands on the jerseys, which you can buy if you want, but you can also bid on the game-worn jerseys autographed by a lot of the different players. The City Edition jerseys from last week are on offer, and these limited edition, really exclusive military jerseys honoring the Thunderbirds display team from the United States Air Force on military night. These boys are going to come out and put on a show just like the Thunderbirds do, but we're going to do it for Dub Nation.
Let's go. Bid today. Okay, let's bring in our second and final guest of the program. He is an offensive lineman with the BYU football team who Transfer from Oregon. He's going to make some big waves and have a lot of pancakes this fall. I'm talking eating and on the field. Let's go. His name's Kingsley Suamataia, a guy I'm very excited about watching it for BYU this fall. Welcome to the program, Kingsley. How you doing, man?
Good. What's up?
We're just hanging out. I know we've spoken a couple of times. I've had you on different shows I'm on, but the name, image, likeness deal you got with the Utah Warriors was awesome because I think you'd be a tremendous prop one day if you ever wanted it for the Utah Warriors after your NFL career, dude.
Hopefully. Rugby is a fun game.
So you've had a lot to do with the Warriors this season and a lot of the promotion of the game to the different audiences that follow you that may not be familiar with rugby. How fun has it been to do the rugby versus football segments that you guys were in? Because you physically are so dominating in some of these videos that watching these guys try to edge rush around you was comical.
It was great. It was great. I didn't even know, when you showed up, I didn't even know I was going to be used into the thing until Brandon Covey goes, okay, now we're going to do one-on-one pass rush. I was looking around, I was like, oh, I'm the only O-lineman. But it was fun. It was fun going against the guys and just learning their sport because I don't know that much. I almost said the same thing my cousin Chess said. I said touchdown like 3 times.
Hey, it works. And let's say, let's be honest, for a try, a touchdown, you have to actually touch it down.
A little history for you, by the way, Kingsley. That's why it's called a touchdown in football. Football came from the game of rugby. That's why when you see the Pittsburgh Steelers wear their bumblebee jerseys, that's a classic rugby jersey from when the Steelers were a rugby club. And it evolved into American football. And that's why it's called a touchdown, is because you actually had to touch the ball down in the try zone to score. So the layers go way back, brother.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
6'6" in rugby is normally a lock, like the guy in the lineout that they lift up. But you're also what are you weighing right now?
I'm like 327, so I don't think you're gonna be lifting no
327. So your prop size, you would just be a massive, like if you and Haloti Nada were, the props. I mean, that could just be epic, right? But what was it about name, image, and likeness with the Warriors that was appealing for you to associate your brand with it? Because you've been all over it, like Banksy said. It's been fun to see you at the games, and we'll talk about your merch in a second. You got the City Edition hat from Saturday on right now.
Oh, you already know. I got a merch.
What was it about the Warriors brand that you wanted to be a part of that?
I don't know. They reached out to me and a couple of my teammates, and especially Brent Covey. He's a youth, but still love him. He comes from down the road, but it was just a great experience to be partnership with Utah Warriors. Not only their symbol looks like Utah Warriors channel is Polynesian, so I thought that was really cool. So just combining with them and just them helping me and me trying to help them out the best I could was a great feeling. It was just amazing.
When we talk about all the merch and all the kit, you've actually got an opportunity to design kind of your own line of Kingsley gear, right? That's available now that people can get. How is that? Yeah. Look at that. I mean, that's just cool, man. I see you got the Belichick short sleeve hoodie going on there. I like the long sleeve with the black. How was that designing your own kit with the help of the Warriors and getting to create on that level?
It was unbelievable. My dad picked me up. He's like, okay, we're going to the meeting. I was like, meeting for what? I thought we were just talking. He's like, no, you're gonna probably design your own stuff. I was like, I ain't never done any of that before, but okay. So we showed up and it was left and right. Billy, the guy that does all their tech stuff, he was there with his iPad and stuff. And then Hunter then was just filming and his crew. So it was crazy. I was sweating. I was trying to look at the camera. I was trying to do my design. I was this is crazy. But yeah, it was just amazing having Billy there. Not only him being Polynesian, so it was helpful for him to help me design what I wanted, but also incorporate the Warriors. So it came out with that design. It was pretty cool.
We love Billy. He's a huge part of our our show here, and he does so many. He doesn't just do. He's okay. He doesn't just do things for the Warriors too. He's helping the league in a tremendous way with design and. The customized jerseys you saw Saturday, the City Edition, the military jerseys with Thunderbirds, pretty cool, which is awesome. You gave the game ball. You walked the game ball out this last Saturday, right?
Yes, indeed, I did.
What was that like, man?
It was crazy. Sorry, I keep saying crazy, but like I just like so happy like when it comes to like Utah Warriors and stuff. Like I'm newly to rugby, but like it's like fun just watching the dudes go head to head. So when I got hurt, I was like, "Oh, you're running out the ball." I was like, am I playing or like am I running out the ball? I was confused, but there was one dude, I forgot his name. Before I went out, he's like, "Okay, so if they're getting the ball, don't hand him the ball. Drop the ball and throw it the other way." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "No, don't do that. You're gonna get in trouble."
You just
But yeah,
pass it away.
it was cool. It was cool just walking out there. There was packed house, so it was full. So it was just nice to just I don't know get clapped on and then put the ball down. So it's pretty cool.
Hey,
Obviously,
I like the way the game went. You might have to do it again.
Right? It could be the good luck charm, Kingsley. Obviously, you've run out in front of big crowds before as a player on all the different levels, and hopefully we get to watch you progress to the next level as your career grows. What are the crowds like in a difference between the rugby crowds and the football crowds that you're used to, other than the size? Is there a difference when you're standing out there walking the ball out and you're looking around at the fans and the energy?
I don't think there's a difference, honestly. Like maybe we had more seats, but just as much as rugby, like everybody was just yelling. I couldn't hear nobody. Like it was crazy. It was nice. I don't think there's a difference, honestly.
It's going to be fun because you're going to play some really compelling games this year for BYU, not only at home against Baylor and Arkansas, but you're going to play Notre Dame in Allegiant Stadium. We're going to play at Oregon, wink, wink, where he came from. That's going to be a fun one, right? What are you looking forward to the most for the BYU football season with an offense that's expected to be extremely good?
Shoot, just getting after with the boys, like these are like my brothers. Like not only am I like I am the youngest, but like just playing with all the older guys is having mature O-line and having all of them help me. But our offense is, you got to see this season. It's gonna be great. From our line to our running backs to our receivers to our quarterback behind him to the quarterback behind him. Like it's gonna be crazy.
Crazy is the right word. Crazy delicious, as Andy Samberg once said on SNL. Well, Kingsley, we appreciate the time, man. People can go get your merch on shop.warriorsrugby.com. Super cool. In fact, I kind of walk around the field before the game, and I saw someone with it, and they're like, "I just got the Kingsley merch." And I was like, that's so awesome. So people are grabbing it, which is awesome. And we look forward to seeing you at perhaps Saturday and in the future with the Warriors. Good luck, man.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. See y'all Saturday. Okay.
Kingsley Suamataia joining the program. He is a 5-star high school kid who went to Oregon, transferred to BYU after the season, and he is going to be big time. 5-star means that before high school, you are projected to be a first-round draft pick. So he is big time.
An amazing athlete and an incredible human being, too. It's great to have him be part of the Utah Warriors and really kind of spearhead the attack with Dub Nation on social media with his presence at the games, all the way down to designing his own merch, which is super cool. I love the logo that they created for him and the branding that will continue with the Utah Warriors. It's such a cool thing to see a kid of his stature and his history and the mana that he has and bring that to the Warriors and hopefully continue to build that career on the football field for him and his family.
Yeah, he went to Orem High, and he's a local kid. He knows what Utah's about. And I love what he said. Like, there's no difference with the crowds I've seen in rugby. Like, Utah sports fans, as we've talked about with a lot of people, like, there's a real passion that once they kind of figure out the game a little bit and come to a game, it's like, hey, this is awesome. And Saturday is an early game at 2:30, but we're already thinking a little bit about next year and how exciting that could be as well.
If these last few games haven't energized you, then I don't know what will. I don't even need a shot of adrenaline in the heart or what's going on. Get a defibrillator on you. Be ready for 2023 because these Warriors are coming out swinging, all right? Season ticket packages are available now. Call 801-477-7652 or go to warriorsrugby.com. Be part of the best home field advantage in Major League Rugby and the best fan base in all of sports. Dub Nation, it's time to get loud. It's time to get ready. It's time to be there to back the black in black and red with the 4 stripes. Call 801-477-7652 and get your 2023 season tickets now.
Okay, join us Saturday, 2:30 Mountain Time, as the Utah Warriors host the MLR reigning champions and the #1 team in the West, LA Giltinis, live on KJazz, streamed on KSLSports.com and the Rugby Network. Radio, we've got you on ESPN 700 and ESPN 960. It is a big game, to say the least. Okay, that'll do it for us. Like and share this episode of Dub Nation. Follow the Utah Warriors on social media. Our thanks to Calvin Whiting and Kingsley Suamataia. It was a BYU-themed show, I guess, today. Today's show is produced by Billy Rathule, Mason Benson. For Banksy, I'm Jarom Jordan. We'll see you Saturday for Utah and LA. Go Warriors.